Hello, this is Josh Sigmund with Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and I'm going to work on your tip of the week. This week we're kind of focusing on customer service as business picks up for everybody in the industry coming in the summertime. It's pretty good to make sure you have a protocol for an upset client. So whether you've got a title company or an agent or a buyer or a seller or a borrower, doesn't really matter. When you deal with people dealing with people, somebody's going to get upset at some point. So what it's important to do is kind of come up with a tactical approach to every conversation that's logical and not emotional to make sure you have the best results from that, and then you can move on with your relationship and hopefully salvage not only just the deal but the relationship itself. So here's my tactics. Number one, make sure that whoever answers the call takes that call to completion. So if you've got a team, whoever answers the call, yes, they might bring in somebody else to help out, but they need to make sure that they own that from beginning to end. Number two, we've got to put on our active listening skill ears. We have to listen, listen, listen. It's pretty normal for all Americans to be really defensive when they start calling your baby ugly. And you got to understand that we need to just assume that the client's right. Just for a moment, let's assume that the person that you're talking to is right, and let's listen with their ears. Figure out what really the issue is. Okay? Number three bullet point, you've got to make sure that you repeat the issue back to them. A lot of times when people get in these kind of confrontational conversations, there's 5 or 7 or 10 bullet points that they get talking about, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And what you've got to understand is, what I understand there's lots of issues, but what is the one thing that is really your hot button that you're asking me about? Once you identify that, you repeat back to them and say, so what I'm hearing you say is, maybe you're a buyer and you're doing your final walkthrough, and the property's a mess. And the client's like, I'm going to walk away. This is crazy. And say, what I'm hearing you say is that this is not fixed by the end of the day. This is going to be a major issue, right? So you just got to make sure that you deal with the actual problems at hand. The next thing is, once you've repeated back to them, the fourth bullet point is position yourself alongside of the client. Okay. When you're dealing with negotiations, there's three modalities or ways that you get into conversations. First one's a subservient. Basically you're talking to the big old bad scary attorney that's buying $1 million house, and they try to put you in that subservient role. The second thing is called a gunfighter model, which is we're going to fire bullets back and forth one way or the other. But the problem is there will always be one winner and there will be one loser. And the bottom line is, either way you lose the relationship. The relationship's over even if you do win. And the third one's the problem-solving mentality. And the problem-solving mentality is where we want to be, because if we can create a win-win environment, then the relationship can continue. Okay, so position yourself alongside the client. So that might sound like, you know what, I totally understand why you're frustrated. I got to be completely honest with you. If I were in your shoes, I would be just beyond livid. I'm surprised you're handling it as well as you are. I'd probably have knocked him out by now. Bottom line is you got to make sure that they know that you're on their side. Fifth bullet point is that if you can handle the issue while they're on the phone, do not hang up. Okay? We know that when people are pissed, when they hang up the phone, if it's not already fixed, they start dialing for dollars and calling the next person, and whoever will listen to their frustration, their mom, their dad, their sister, their brother, their referring partner, the past client of yours that referred them to you in the first place. They're like, why the hell did you refer me to him? He sucks. And so you got to make sure, if you have the opportunity to fix the problem while they're on the phone, that you do so. Okay? Next bullet point, if you can't fix it on the phone, you must set a callback time. Don't just say, I'm going to work on it, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's not what they want to hear. They want to know that this is your top priority. So you say, hey, listen, I don't know how fast the listing agent's going to call me back, but one way or the other, is it okay if I call you back by 4 o'clock today? I'll either give you an update and let you know, hey, I'm still waiting, or I'll let you know that they've gotten back to me and the problem's solved. Either way, I promise you I'll call you back at 4 o'clock. Okay? Small kept promises build trust. So bottom line is, if you set a callback time, you better keep it. Okay? Next bullet point, when you call back with a solution, make sure you have 2, not 1. It's an option close. You want to make sure that there's 2 things. So again, as a problem solver, you're letting them participate in the solving of the problems. Okay? So, hey, bottom line is that they did screw up. They admitted it. They've got 2 choices. We can either delay closing by 3 days. They can get in here over the weekend, and we can close on Tuesday, or they're willing to give you a $500 concession at closing to say they're sorry that they were dummies. Okay? How do you want me to respond? Do you want me to take the $500, or do you want us to delay closing by 3 days? Okay? Once they agree on whatever the solution is, the next bullet point is you turn back around and make sure that you do a next day check-in. Okay, so you solved the problem. They've chosen plan A. We closed today. They gave $500. So tomorrow the check-in might be, hey, listen, I just want to give you a call. I don't want you to think that I'm gone. I know that there were some bumps and bruises along the way, but I feel like we got through this together. I just want to make sure that at the end of the day that you're happy, that you love the house, because that's my top priority. Is there anything extra I can do for you? Okay, so make sure you do that next day check-in. The only other thing that I kind of squeeze in the middle that I kind of skipped over just a bit is make sure that when you're going through the problem solvings and solutions in that time frame and call back, make sure that you're taking the time not only to position yourself, but make sure that you're also asking them what they think a appropriate solution is. So right before you might get off the phone and say, hey, it's going to take me a little bit of time, let me ask you a question. Out of curiosity, what do you think is something that would work for you? Because a lot of times agents and lenders and everybody else just throw money at the problem. They say, you know what, I totally get it. Let me go ahead and pay $500. Whereas sometimes they just want to vent. And if they just vent and say, it's not your fault, don't worry about it, you don't want to have to throw up $500. And sometimes they'll say, hey, listen, I just want them to be in the middle. The cleaning bill is going to be $500. If they would just pay $250, I'd be happy. And either way, at least you know what you're negotiating for. So guys, there's your 10 bullet points on how to deal with a stressed out client. If it's by yourself, practice makes perfect. Make sure that you practice it again and again and again. If you've got a team, review those bullet points in that script over and over and over so that there's a predictable or a more predictable outcome of those calls that will come, because, hey, when you're people dealing with people, there will be problems. Again, this is Josh Sigmund with your tip of the week. If you need to talk to me, my phone number is 210-492-4900, or my email address is josh@legacymutual.com. josh@legacymutual.com. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.